information to help you market these products more effectively. So these are high-quality products built on one simple idea with USANA. USANA is not just a supplement company. We are a lifestyle brand. And that means a lot for your business because it's overall health. And so many people are concerned about their health and their well-being that we have everything that you need to have these conversations and communicate. So to help with this next portion of the training, we've invited 2 associate experts to help talk about how these products can be incorporated in your business. So Tessa Romero is a pre- and postnatal fitness specialist with a certification through AFPA and is the CEO of Body by Mommy. Marcus Romero has an MS degree in sports conditioning and performance and is a certified strength and conditioning specialist. Marcus and Tessa Romero are all-around health enthusiasts. Tessa leads a successful coaching business that guides women through their mental and physical health journeys. Marcus trains Division I college athletes to peak performance through strength and conditioning. They are parents to a toddler and newborn, Liam and Luke, and together they are silver directors in their USANA business and love life and live it to its fullest. So please join me in welcoming silver directors, Tessa and Marcus Romero.
Hello, USANA family. Hi, we're so excited to be here launching the new stress relief products.
We're so happy to have you both to share some of your expertise and really help give the rest of the USANA family associates some good tips on how they can look at these products and incorporate them into their business. So to get going, I want to talk to you both about a healthy lifestyle and what that means. After reading your bio and everything, you two are perfect to talk about this because you really do represent and showcase this USANA healthy lifestyle. So if you could take a couple minutes and share with us, what I mean by that. What do we mean about a healthy lifestyle? And then how does mood and support fit into this?
Absolutely. And Marcus and I both feel very strongly about a healthy lifestyle, just like what you're saying, and incorporating that not only for ourselves, but our USANA team and our USANA family, but also with our littles, which you can only see his little head. So we'll pop them up. But with as our family as a whole. So between Marcus and I, exercise, nutrition, sleep, hydration, what we're talking about on the screen right here, but managing that stress is what we're really trying to hit on here especially. So for us, using those great resources like what we're mentioning here, but also these mood support supplements have been huge for us in our family and home and implementing those as well.
And I think too, when we talk about healthy lifestyle, a lot of people think about it as kind of the fitness and exercise and just nutrition. But it really is, if you're not mentally healthy, how are you fully physically healthy, right?
Yeah, no, we could not agree more. That's exactly what I coach women through. Marcus most definitely includes that with his athletes.
Yeah, they say it's 80-20 with nutrition and exercise, but I think the whole stress management should cover that the whole 100%.
Right. So it's perfectly timely. And when we talk about this and that ultimate pursuit of happiness and what people are trying to achieve, let's talk for a minute about who these products could work for. In the beginning, I talked a little bit about the state of the world and how people are feeling right now. But if you could share specifically who these products are made for and how you could go about maybe some examples talking to different demographics or certain kind of people.
Absolutely. So I'll start with my examples first. I work specifically with moms, and I know right now because of the global pandemic, like you were talking about, Ashley, a lot of parents are being forced into homeschooling, or school years are looking very different this year, which is incredibly relevant. And social distancing is going on, so we don't necessarily have the means to be communicating with our friends in ways that we have been used to. So managing your own stress in a way, for me, with mothers that I work with has been very relevant, and ensuring that they're showing up as their healthiest selves for their families, because we're all together. most of the time. But for Marcus.
Yeah, so I train college athletes. So a lot of those guys, managing stress is making sure they're showing up to all of their weights, their schooling, their athletic events, and doing homework at the same time. And a lot of that can get really overwhelming. So I think that these products could cover anyone that's an athlete to kids in even high school, because I'm sure they feel overwhelmed.
Family members as well. And that's just our personal examples of how it would apply to our business specifically. But really, anyone with a USANA business, you can relate to the elderly right now. You can relate to the work environment right now. A lot of stress is hitting us in different ways that we are just not necessarily prepared for, and having products like this to support our mental health is incredibly important. So from young adults all the way up, we can be really growing our business through just supporting people's mental health right now and putting the emphasis back on that healthy lifestyle.
And what about, the opportunity for your existing organization? You have quite a bit of preferred customers that you work with. How would you go about circling back to them to see if this is something that could also benefit them with what they're currently taking?
So a lot of what I do and what we do is through social media, but maintaining connections that you build with your customers is always a beneficial thing to do. And it doesn't seem so out of the blue to check in on people, especially right now. So if you have someone on your mind, like for me, the stay-at-home mom that maybe I've worked with previously, and we haven't talked every day, but this would be a great time for me to check in with her or the family in general. And me in a social media platform, if you are not using social media right now, I highly recommend you do so, to connect with your audience more and show how you're using these products and what they've helped you with. For me, being the stay-at-home mom, it's important for me to say, look, my son is taking the USANA, so I share that openly. I share the products that I use openly and how they're benefiting me. So reaching out directly through social media, phone calls work well too. What do you think? How would you do it?
I think that just keeping tabs on everyone, making sure that everyone's doing okay, to where just one day out of the blue, you don't just say, hey, you want to try my mood support? I think if you're constantly asking people how they're doing.
I was just thinking of you kind of thing, and letting people know that you genuinely care.
Yeah, people don't care for how much you know until they know how much you care. So I think it's important to just be nice to people and make sure that they're doing okay.
Be in people's corner, be available for them.
I think you hit on a really excellent point, which is about asking people about them. And when you think of USANA and business, ultimately we're here to coach and help people achieve their goals in a healthier life. So it makes sense to ask, how are you dealing with this? Or, starting back to school soon and it's all crazy and there's all these options and what's going to happen, and kind of asking and starting those conversations to see where you can plug in and have that solution. I think you guys hit that right on the head.
Yeah, absolutely. And it goes to all walks of life, not just parents right now, but everybody.
You got to make sure kids are doing okay too.
Yeah, everyone's going through it.
Yeah, and I think, Tessa, for you too, working with a lot of moms, and you are dealing with fitness and weight loss, and you start people on their weight loss journey, and what an excellent point. Like, how stressful is that? Just even that concept of weight. Can you explain that a little bit?
And what might really help you watching this at home is to understand there is a mental component to weight. So when you can approach somebody in a way that says, hey, but what about your stress? People don't just go home and binge eat. There's a reason why we do the things that we do, which is why I was incredibly excited that USANA was coming out with the mood support line, because if you know why you do something, it's a whole lot easier to stop doing it.
But I want to talk a little bit about tools available that help you promote products and sell the products. So first of all, we have a lot of amazing assets that the home office has created for you to use. These can be found in the back office. We'll have videos, commercials. We're creating a mindfulness series. We'll have presentation slides, everything to arm you with. So Tessa and Marcus, if you could talk a little bit about the tools that you see, or how you incorporate tools and what you use that kind of yields the greater good and gets you some results.
I think the Ask the Scientist is a huge tool that everyone should use. That's one to where you can just send the link over real quick, especially if they're like, what's in it? And you can just send them the new article on what causes stress, what are current stressors that they may not even know that's happening to them. And then it can also take them into like a deeper look into what the supplements are.
Yeah, we love Ask the Scientist. And my personal favorite is the share list that we can create right there in your USANA business. It makes it so easy for you. You can customize them by adding your customer's name to it, but you can also save it for later. So you can have a general name for it and just share it to multiple people. And it takes a lot of the work out for you. So if someone's asking, well, what do you recommend starting with? You can say, here, let me send you this. You can find all of the details and information on it. And always keep in mind, you don't have to be the expert answering all the questions. That's what Ask the Scientist is for. That's why USANA puts so much great information on there, the supplement facts. You don't need to know all those facts. You just go ahead and send that right on over to them.
And I love you mentioned Ask the Scientist, because I do know they're creating a series surrounding this topic and issue. So there'll be more and more articles that you can share. And one thing too is not even just sending it directly, even privately. If it's something that speaks to you or you see an article, sharing it on your social feed to even start that conversation could be beneficial.
That's such a great point. So great. You just do a post all about it and let people that feel drawn and called to it either reach out to you or click the link. And it takes, again, work off of your plate.
It does. And I think it's important we talk for a little bit about social. That's how you're building your business. And if you look at the state of the world and how we've all had to adjust, we're doing this whole event virtually and we're connecting over Zoom, and technology plays a really key component in all of this. And I know there are people out there who are intimidated. There are people who are afraid and unsure how they can utilize social media. And, we talk share links and, whoa, that's overwhelming. What do I do? So what are some tips, or how do you even have conversations in a social space?
For me personally, it goes right back to one, trial and error. So in order to get more comfortable with something, you have to step outside of that comfort zone. And it doesn't have to be the first time you're just going to jump in and talk all about the product. People want to get to know you first. So you can just share little snips of your life, what you're having for breakfast. People are genuinely curious. So you can share things that you feel comfortable with sharing. And then once you build a community with you that you're like, hey, I talk to these, for me, women every day. There isn't anything that I don't necessarily feel comfortable sharing. It's natural for me to talk about the products, and it's natural for them to look at me and say, hey, what was that skincare that you used? What was that supplement that you're really a big fan of again? And it's such a great gateway that way. But Ashley, to answer your question specifically, you got to start practicing with it. Let yourself be a little bit vulnerable, opening up and sharing things that you're just comfortable with. You don't have to give away any personal information, just what you did a workout today. Go inspire somebody else to do a workout today.
And I think that's important when you talk about it. It's, you need to be a product of the product and the lifestyle. So just showcase yourself and your lifestyle and how you're living. And with that too, I think there's this intimidation. You look at Instagram and these photos they look so professional, and there's this and there's that. And I'm not going to be able to do that. I'm not going to be able to build this huge following. And I think what you're saying is it's not always about that. It's true connections and who you can resonate with. And, what are some tools, that could be helpful to post and imagery and to help people kind of alleviate that concern of, I'm a little nervous to get out there and talk about this here. Where should they really start?
The USANA Shareables is a whole collection that USANA's got right there for you. If you're intimidated, posting your own content until you get more comfortable and really focus on who exactly you're trying to talk to in the first place. So that's kind of a big thing for me, is knowing my audience is moms. So it's very easy for me to connect to them because I know who I'm talking to. I can go to USANA shareables and select a beautiful image and share it either on my Instagram story or put it out there as a permanent post on Facebook, Instagram. You can make TikTok videos about it, all kinds of things. But yeah, USANA shareables is a wonderful resource to go to if you do have that intimidation happening. And it does draw curiosity.
Excellent. Marcus, do you have any input you want to share with kind of building in this online environment and talking about products and putting yourself out there?
So Tessa's way better at anything social media. I would say I'm usually I'm the Instagram husband behind the camera videotaping everything.
He takes the pictures for me.
Yeah. So what I like to do is I'm not as active on social media, but what I do is if I see someone that posts something saying, "Oh, I just got fired from my job, I can't lose all this weight, I'm struggling this way," I'll just talk to them just one-on-one through like a message. I'll just message them and just say, "Hey, I heard you got fired from your job. Like, what's going on, or how can I help?" Things like that, and then that way. That, or I'll share something that happened with us. And I think that once you're vulnerable with someone, they're more likely to be vulnerable back. So I think it's important just to talk to people like that. But I'm definitely more one-on-one, as Tessa's more one-on thousands and thousands at a time.
But one-on-one is what people appreciate, though. Like, I open up vulnerably to my following, and then women message me directly, and I still have those conversations one-on-one. I don't just wait for people to reach out to me either. Like what Marcus said, just paying attention to the people that are in your life, and if they are sharing openly, "I did just lose my job," or "I'm struggling with stress, what am I going to do about homeschooling?" If you have a solution, there's no harm in sharing it. You should share that solution with people. So he brought up a really great point.
And I think it's excellent how you talk about this. I mean, these things take time, but that's how you guys have been able to make it and achieve what you have with USANA, is because you are taking the time to have those conversations and listen. So it's not, "I'm going to post this and all of a sudden my business is going to be great." You have to foster it and continue it going and really find out what people are looking for so that you can plug that hole and be a solution.
Yeah, absolutely, Ashley. And you just brought up an insanely great point, is the consistency behind it. Some people follow me. They will say, "I've been following you since your first was born." He is 2 years old before they trusted me enough to share a problem that I had a solution for this whole time, and I didn't even know they had a problem. I show up consistently every single day, and that's why I only share things that I'm comfortable with and I'm passionate about, because if you're going to be doing it long term, you better really love it. And that's what draws people to you, is that energy too, and your consistency behind it.
And I think it's also important not to get discouraged, like if you didn't have a bunch of likes on a post or whatever, because like even when I train my teams, they'll always, because I always tell them about Tessa. I was bragging about how great she is and all the kids and stuff, and all the girls on like the gymnastics team or the women's basketball team won't like comment on every single one of her pictures, but they're always like, "I loved the post that she said about this self-love that she was talking about and all this stuff." And I think that just because you don't have a lot of likes or anything on your post, that doesn't mean that people aren't reading it. So I think that if you stay consistent, they'll continue.
I think that's pretty important too. Like, you're influencing people, like you talked about. They're not always commenting or liking, but they are paying attention. So I think that's a pretty critical point to hit on. So with all of this, we've talked about who it's for, tools. And one thing I think that's important too, Tessa, I'm glad you mentioned, is we do have shareables in the back office. Another thing that you'll find in the Share USANA Media Center are just straight imagery, lifestyle photos, and actual created shareables. So there's a lot of options available for you to get you comfortable and started.
Yeah, love it. So many great tools.
So with all of this, the most important part is through this conversation and everyone listening and watching is taking action. It's only good information if you do something with it. So from your perspective, what is one thing to take away from everything we've talked about for someone to just, go and start talking about this new category or really infuse their business after this whole event? What is something you propose they should do on a basic level?
Personally, on that basic level, I would say reconnecting with people, obviously to start, we're going to try the product. We want to be a product of the product, but getting back in and reconnecting. If you don't feel comfortable sharing on social media, then working with the people that you do know closely and helping just to build testimonies for people. And anyone that may be experiencing stress, which we've talked about is everybody right now, getting testimonials from them of how they've loved the product and being able to share that. So maybe it's not your own words and stepping out of your comfort zone too much, but it's dipping your toe in the water.
The Calm response is a great product for that if you think about it. It's low cost. It is what I talked about. It's an experiential product, so it's not taking a supplement and you don't know if it's doing anything for you. Yeah. So it's kind of a great little gateway. If like you said, be a product of the product. Have this product on hand that you're using. You don't even know if someone's going to ask, "Oh, what is that? Can I smell that? Can I look at it?" So that's a really good point.
Yeah, I think Tessa hit it right on the head as far as being a product of the product and trying it out yourself, because we've been fortunate enough to where we can try it out for a month or two now, and we definitely both have had a great experience with it. And like you were saying, just with how good it smells amazing. So I think if you just had that on you, in your vehicle, or if she had it in her purse, it'd be so easy just to swipe it on someone's wrist and just have them smell it and be like, how do I get my hands on that stuff? So I think that'd be super important to have.
Well, excellent. I want to thank you both so much for taking the time and to pour your knowledge back into the USANA family. I think there were some amazing tips. Just to kind of refresh what we talked about, taking action. Get your products, experience them for yourself, see how they work for you. And then look at that contact list, see who these could benefit. Pay attention to what people are talking about in the social space and around you, and how you can help provide those solutions. And then just start conversations. I think, one thing as we went through all of this, it's important that it takes time. It's not just, I'm going to post this and something magic is going to happen. It can be an evolution. You could consider looking at Ask the Scientist, finding an interesting article and sharing it to start dialogue. And then a couple days later, maybe post your experience or an image of you with, the balm around you. It's kind of that build up what you do. Do you guys do that? Do you kind of plant those seeds and then keep going with it?
Absolutely. If I find something interesting that I'm going to share, I'll put it on my Instagram story, and we're always looking for engagement. We want people to interact with us. So saying, what do you guys think about this? You will be surprised how many people want to share their opinion with you.
Yeah.
Ask the questions.
Yeah, and it's just a wonderful conversation starter, and you never know what's going to come out of it. So, like you're saying, being able to start the conversation with someone with an open mind and say, hey, I was just thinking of you when I was trying this, and would you be willing to smell this? Or sharing what you're doing is very important.
Well, great. And I think that wraps up our time here. Again, thank you both so much. I love, seeing the little one and just connecting with you. You two are amazing. And I just really appreciate the time. And I'm sure the USANA family does also.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. It's so wonderful to see and hear from our USANA family. Even though we can't be there in person, I hope that this has been beneficial for everybody.
This has been a